You guys killed. Today I'm going to be showcasing the deck I went 5-3 with. Realistically, I should have gone 6-2, but I misplayed. I sold super hard round 8, which is unfortunate, but clearly I played Ryzeal Mitsu. I'm going to give you guys a quick overview on what I played, why I played it, and how I would improve in the future. So starting off, I'm not going to go over this, it's just the basic Ryzeals plus Bonfire. These are all pretty good. If you play like the Mitsu Ryzeal Fiendsmith, which my round 8 opponent was on, you don't play Star, but in this version, Star just lets you play, like, completely ignore Nib if you start X'd. Super broken. Honorary Ryzeal, Starter, Extender, Prosperity. And this deck list is not playing Pre-Prep or Tachyon, so it's also way more budget than your standard deck list. For the Mitsus here, this is also pretty standard. 3 Habakiri, 3 Prayers, Merkumo, Ritual, and then I'm playing Saji Kusanagi. And instead of Armasa, I elected for Nightsword. And my testing Nightsword came up way more than an Armasa did, because most of the time, if you start Habakiri or Prayers, you're going to tribute an Armasa from deck off Ritual. In the Armasa, if you activate it to chain block Kusanagi, it's just going to search a redundant Habakiri anyways, so there was no point to playing this card. I would much rather have a extra level 4 body on the board than an Armasa. And worst comes to worst, you open Prayers Serpent, draw phase, you can Prayers Tribute Serpent, get your search, get your special, and then you play under, or search Saji, special Saji, then you play under Droll, and you have 2 4s right away set up, which is super nice. I would not play Armasa in the future. I never once missed, throughout all the rounds, having Armasa in my deck. For the non-engine, this is a little bit different. I only have access to 3 Fua, 1 Perulia. No Meows at all, so it makes this deck even more budget-friendly. 3 Drolls, you gotta play it. It stops not only Mitsu Ryzeal or Mitsu cards in general, which is like the best deck right now. It's also just good into like a blanket card, good into any rogue matchup, which you very much so have to prepare for in going into a regional or a locals that might maybe casual, not in any derogatory way. The only deck it's bad against is Malice. But 3 Ash. Ash isn't super great. I was once told by my coach that if Ash Blossom didn't stop Charmies, he would cut 3 Ash and play 3 Bell instead, because Ash really only serves as a way to stop Fua, like Fua Perulia. That's it. That's the only reason why you play it. 2 Imperm. I was at 1 for a little while, and then I decided, you know what, sometimes it is good to just be able to draw into Imperm as a board breaker. Sometimes, if my opponent was playing like Tempai Rollers, which I lost to, I would just hold the Imperm for my turn, and then Imperm the problem card. And against a lot of these rogue decks that have one big buff monster, that can be pretty solid, because like, if you play against Ryzeal, you know that your like 1 Imperm isn't going to stop them. So if you just hold Imperm for a detonator, something like that, if you have like Imperm Bell, you can just hold Imperm for detonator, Bell the Clipstones. 1 Nib. Nib isn't super good in my opinion, because Ryzeal, if they start X, they get the cross off the Star, which is why you have to play Star, and then Nib is sitting in your head dead, or hand dead. It's doing nothing, accomplishing nothing. Playing against Malice, if you get Malice combo a little bit, you know, they have like Dormouse that hasn't used its effect because they special off Cryptid come back, the backup on field, like, oh, that's a good spot to Nib, and they just Wizard, summon back, keep comboing from there, and it's like it never happened. 1 Bell. Bell's super good. I only played the 1 because I wanted to keep it at 40 cards since I wasn't playing Tachyons, to keep that consistency up. 1 Perulia. I only have the 1. Going forward, I would probably only play the 1. If I had 2, which I'm getting 2 and 3 soon, I would maybe play 2, but I don't think playing 3, unless you're going to like a YCS where you're expecting a lot of Ryzeal, in any regional or local event, I would definitely keep 1 Perulia. Then for the 1 of Power Spells, we have Talents, Called by, Econ, and Crossout. These 3 are pretty self-explanatory. They're limited for a reason. It's pretty broken. I want to talk about Econ. Econ is an interesting card my coach put me on, because when you play with the Mitsus, it complements them super well. Like if you get Drolled, you end on Murakumo, Prayers, like Econ set. Being able to Econ, tribute Murakumo, take their duo drive when they summon it, and then Murakumo blow up the rest of the monsters. Or you can just leave Murakumo in grave and have Prayer set to Raigeki them whenever you want to when they get 2 4s on to extend from there. And if you get rid of effectively 2 of their 4 level 4 monsters, it's going to be very hard for them to bridge from Ryzeal to Mitsu, or to have any Ryzeal cards to speak of. Going forward, I would maybe keep playing this. I took 1 of them out post side against like Malice and stuff, because drawing board breakers against Malice, especially Econ, it seems kind of redundant. But also it's good in theory, because if you open Ice, you normal Ice to try Imperming or something, you can just chain Econ, tribute the Ice, so its effect resolves, threaten more other monsters. After the side deck, we play 2 deck lockdown. Deck lockdown super nasty, because you can go full Ryzeal Mitsu combo, or even like a half combo. Slap this down on your end board and say deal with it. They have to have X and Aggregator, that's the only play. And at that point, X is negated because he can't search when it's summoned, and the Aggregator has to target this. So what you're baiting out the X effect to search for sword or node, and you're baiting out the Aggregator to break your board. So this card goes 2 for 1 there if they have the X, which is the only way for them to out it. And if they do, if you really don't want them searching, especially from deck, which is very fair, you can just cross negate this if you're brave enough, or cross negate Aggregator if you're brave enough, if you have like a detonator on field, and then like they can't play under it at all. They have no other ways to get rid of it. Play 3 Thrust. Since I don't have Meows, I supplemented Meows for Thrust in a Thrust package. For the Thrust targets, I played these guys right here. I played Dark Ruler, Harpies, Featherstorm. I didn't play Lightning Storm. I took Lightning Storm out for Dark Ruler, just because when you, like I was mentioning before, when you go to a locals or regional event, you have to prepare for the more broad meta. I don't have Gnomes, or didn't have access to it, but if I did, maybe, like, if I'm going to YCS, I'm playing Gnomes over Dark Ruler, probably. But when you go to regional, like, you play those, like, weird, like, Tempai Rulers, like, Build a Board, Voiceless Voice decks, like, Blue Eyes too. Having Dark Ruler, like, Thrust for Dark Ruler, is super clean. Because you force out the Drill Beam, you force out everything. If they don't have those cards to negate it, they just lose. Like, you really just break their board. Featherstorm, not much to talk about. I play 4 copies with a 3 Thrust. I'd maybe consider playing a second copy, so I'd have 5 copies of it when I go first. Because, like, I was thinking about it, deck lockdown sometimes wins you a game against, like, Mitsu, but this almost guarantees you a game against any deck when you go first. So going forward, I might play 2 Thrust, 3 Storm, just because it's such a bonkers unfair card. That should get banned. We also play the Purification. I'm going to cut this from my side, probably for a second Featherstorm. I sided it in maybe once all tournament, probably because I was, 2-0ing a lot, so I didn't go first all that much, both side. But when I did, like, never is having Purification in rotation going to be better than Featherstorming your opponent. So I think I'm going to cut this for a second Featherstorm, at least. We played 2 more Ghost Spells. It's good against Mitsu. Mirkin will come back, which can really protect you there. It's good against Malice. Well, it's okay against Malice. I'm not super convinced on the side deck ratios. I really want to play more Featherstorm just because, yeah, it guarantees you a game. For the anti-Malice, since I don't have Meows, I played 3 Lancia and 1 Chaos Hunter. I wanted to play more Chaos Hunters. I was going to play 3, and these were going to be the other Chaos Hunters. I only played 1 Malice, and I ended up beating him. Beat him game 1, Lancia game 2, and I think I lost that game still. No, I didn't. I definitely 2-0'd him. Anyways, these Lancia is undisputable. This card, in theory, Malice can out it, but it's like, if you don't have Meows, this is the budget alternative. Like, it's just as good, if not better, than Meows in some situations, because they can't Ash Blossom a Chaos Hunter. And when you go, oh, my only disruption against Malice going second is Meows, and they Ash it, or Called by, cross out, something, it just feels really bad. Like, extraordinarily bad. Even Meows, they can give you 2-3 draws. If you're not drawing into, like, 5 Egyptian God pieces, you just lose anyways. Because our half board's super, super strong, backed up with a Impulse, Ash, something like that, Droll, you just lose. But Chaos Hunter can just win you a game, especially if it sticks around for a couple turns. They just, yeah, normal Dormouse, banish the, or especially if they start Field Spell, that's really broken. Field Spell, banish Dormouse, Dormouse summon, on the summon Chaos Hunter, it's like, deal with it. You have monsters, you can't impermit, what are you going to do about it, right? I'm not going to go over the extra, it's pretty standard. 2 Eclipse Twins, 2 Duo, Detonator, you play the Ouroboros stuff. There's nothing really to talk about here. Dynamundo, I might cut it. I played the Typhon, Tornado Dragon. It's all pretty simple stuff. I didn't play the second duo, I couldn't find it in time. I played the Cowboy. Having Cowboy in your extra or side, because you have a couple flex spots, just, especially in like a more local, like I keep mentioning, a local, well, even a YCS. Because imagine you go to YCS, you're in like the mirror match, so it's more of a grindy game back and forth. Your opponent's maybe playing a little slow, maybe you're playing a little slow, whatever. Complicated game state against like Memento, or like Mermail, long combos, a lot of back and forth interaction. And you tie or lose just because you couldn't burn them enough for time, you can swing for enough damage. That really sucks. I would never want to be, like I was like 4-2 or 5-2 at a regional. Oh, I'm about to get a top, win this game, and you draw, and then you miss out on top cut. I wouldn't wish that upon anyone. So having Cowboy, please don't cheese people with it. But having Cowboy, you can't go wrong with it. Even if it wins you 1 match every 2 events, that's 1 more win, not game win, match win than you would have had. Featherstorm might win you a game here or there when you draw it and you go first. A Cowboy will win you a couple matches, and that's really impactful. So just to recap, I just want to go over quick side patterns too, because that's the one thing I don't like about deck profiles is I never go over side patterns, so it's kind of confusing. Siding, or let's talk about what comes out. This is all side deck here. Going second, I took these cards out. Well, Econ, it's a good going second card too, but against Malice comes out. So it's a cross out. It's all non-engine here. Going second against Malice as well. If, I sided out Ash, or at least 1 or 2 Ashes at times, just because it really doesn't do that much. I'd also slide out Star and Cross going second, because seeing Star and Cross, it's not like they're starters, so if you cut these, you're losing 0 consistency. You're just losing some grind game potential with the Cross. So maybe you can cut Star going second, but if it's a grindier game, like, oh, they're on, like, Pure Fiendsmith, I know it's going to be more back and forth, I'm going to need to be recycling my resources. I'll take Star out, but leave Cross in, just because Cross can recycle resources. That's the only reason why I would ever consider leaving it in going second, is if you know it's going to be a grindier match. So I don't know, it helps grind a little better. But against Malice, Mitsurugi, seeing these cards in your opening hand are never going to win you a game against those decks. Opening in extra Mulch-Army, Hand Trap, maybe even just more gas, or Thrust into Dark Ruler or Harpies, that might win you a game. These 2 will never win you a game going second. I don't know if there's anything else I'd really side out. Yeah, these are the main ones I'd cut. Econ comes out if, depending on the matchup. Against Malice, Perulia comes out. Going first, obviously the Foos come out, Drolls come out against Malice. But that's really about it. All of the Mitsu and Ryzeal cards besides Cross and Star, I leave in going second. Even Node, because Node lets you extend so much further than you would be able to without it. I couldn't imagine playing this deck without Node. Going first, second, third, it doesn't matter. Excuse me. But yeah, Cross out, Star Cross. Going first, I also cut a Imperm, just because, well, you leave one in for cross out, and it's not bad to draw. But I want to be drawing Feather Storms, I want to be drawing deck lockdowns, thrusts, those kind of cards. I don't want to be drawing an Imperm going first, you know? This deck, since it doesn't play Tachyon, I did lose a couple matches, or one match for sure. I lost because I bricked. Lost a few games because I bricked. Because it's like a 90% chance of seeing one or more starters. That's one starter, and if you open one, you know, Ice Ryzeal, for example, or X, and they stop it, it's not great. It's not insanely great, but doing the math, even if you play 40, like 2 cards, you take out the Prosperity, put in 3 of whatever starter, 7 Tachyon, for example, like, you're only adding maybe 3% consistency, which for YCS, I can see why it makes sense, just because losing a few matches here and there, because, you know, where that one starter would have been, over 10, 12 rounds, really adds up. But a regional, 8-round regional, like, it just doesn't make sense. It's expensive. It loses to Ash, Droll, you go -1. Like, if X or Tachyon search Ice is your only play, and they draw you there, or just Imperm the Ice, like, you're kind of just cooked. Like, you lose anyways. You lose to one hand trap regardless. So that's my little spiel about this deck, what I would change, what I wouldn't.